Dear participants of the Live Surgery Workshop, dear friends, I am very honored by the fact that this year the workshop is organized in Polanica-Zdrój, the cradle of Polish plastic surgery. 25 years ago, I did not even imagine that one day I will be able to participate in such an event in my home country. That's why I would like to take the opportunity to tell you about Poland, the country which today enjoys freedom for almost 3 decades. Some of you have asked me, what is the Polish success story? In this speech, I would like to answer this question by outlining you 3 key characteristics of Poles and Poland. The first is that Poles have a particular taste for exploring and discovering. We can trace it back many ages from now. It has been made symbolic by icons such as Nicolaus Copernicus, the famous astronomer, mathematician and a doctor, who from his observatory in northeastern Poland has shook the Renaissance world with his heliocentric theory. Another more modern example would be a double Nobel Prize winner, Marie Curie born Skłodowska, who is not a pioneer chemist and a physicist, but also an incredibly courageous person, opening the world academia for women by becoming the first woman professor at French Sorbonne. What is also apparent is that we do not limit ourselves to the frontiers of Poland. We are curious of the world and eager to go abroad, often in massive waves of emigration. I am pretty sure some of you have Polish origins, or at least had a Polish classmate at school or university. Those who departed have made an extremely valuable contribution to many foreign countries. Here a perfect example would be Tadeusz Kościuszko, who is particularly close to our American friends. Not only did he fight in the War of Independence, but also was a close friend and advisor to Thomas Jefferson. In addition, at school, every American pupil learns about another Pole, Kazimierz Pulaski, hero of the Independence War, acclaimed as a father of the American cavalry. All that is not to convince you that Poles are omnipresent or omnipotent. Surely we are not. However, I believe that historically and culturally, you can sketch Polish ethos. It will be marked by the second of 3 characteristics, which is our cultural openness. Could you imagine the world of music without Chopin? His preludes, etudes, nocturnes, polonaises and mazurkas embody the universal beauty of music and enchants people from all corners of the world and all walks of life. The culture created by the Polish artists has permitted us to overcome many of our prejudices and to integrate with other cultures. It is not only Chopin who brought together Polish and French hearts, but it is also Stravinsky and Nijinsky who enriched Polish and Russian cultures. Or finally, it is Roman Polanski who shaped modern cinematography in both Europe and America. Another field, which might seem trivial but is not less important for the Polish openness, is sport, with Robert Lewandowski excelling in German Bundesliga, Łukasz Kubot winning men's doubles at last Wimbledon, or Marcin Gortat playing for the NBA Washington Wizards. Our openness was making Poland a traditionally hospitable country. The best example featuring it is undoubtedly a long tradition of Polish-Jewish relations, which created an extremely rich and valuable heritage. By the way, if by any time you'll have a chance to be in Warsaw, I would frankly recommend you to visit an incredible new museum of the history of Polish Jews. The history taught us that respect is reciprocal and we should always be open and tolerant, even for those who might seem to be enemies. Our Turkish friends would probably know John III Sobieski, called by Ottomans the Lion of Lekistan. In the 17th century, he won against the Turks in the famous Battle of Vienna, but after the victory insisted on building friendship between our 2 countries. that came back to with Turkey being a close ally supporting the Polish nation over the following centuries. I began my speech by saying that 25 years ago I would not imagine myself here. In fact, any one of us would not be here, if not because of the courage which is embedded in the Polish spirit. It is final, and I believe the most important characteristic of Poles and Poland I would like to introduce you to this morning. When in 1989 Poland, as the first country from the communist bloc, began its transformation to a free and sovereign state, Lech Wałęsa said that it would be as hard as, I quote, turning a fish soup back into aquarium. It is thanks to him and many other Poles who, by non-violent resistance and civil disobedience, began the process which was after symbolically concluded by the fall of the Berlin Wall. It was not by accident that this process began in Poland. Long before, Poles were experienced by many tragic events, national uprisings and wars. But if there is one lesson we took from the past, is that courage pays off. When our courage meets our Eastern spirit, it transforms into heroism. An example of it, closest to my heart, is the role Polish aircraft pilots played in the Battle of Britain, which Winston Churchill described in his famous phrase, "Never in the history of mankind has so much been owed by so many to so few." When our courage meets our sense of decency, it transforms into heroic humanity. You can see the proof of this when visiting Yad Vashem, where Polish names account for more than a quarter of memorial trees honoring the righteous among the nations, who were saving lives of Jewish people during the Second World War. The Polish sense of humanity was also reflected in the pontificate of St. John Paul II, who opened Poles for Europe and advocated Poland's interests in the world. Ultimately, when our courage meets solidarity, it transforms into a success story of our country which lasts from the last 3 decades. We have worked hard to catch up with the world after the years of communism, and I am very proud to say that we did manage to do it. Today, we strongly feel that Poland is an integral part of modern world and united Europe. That is reflected in a symbolic role of Donald Tusk serving as the President of the European Council. I hope that during your visit you will be able to observe and appreciate the progress Poland has made in recent decades. There is one more thing. In my speech, you could have witnessed one more feature which is inseparably Polish: our lack of self-criticism and constant pride of being Poles. Surely we might be a little pathetic and hopefully not very nationalistic. In my case, it is a simple enthusiasm of having you all in my country, which I wanted to share with you today. Welcome to Polanica. Welcome to Poland.